Penguin Random House Audio presents The Father, Made in Sweden, Part 1, by Anton Svensson, translated by Elizabeth Clark Wessel, read for you by Richard Coyle.
If then is now, if now is then. He's sitting in a yellow Volkswagen van that smells of sweat and paint and something else he can't quite put his finger on. Maybe the petrol station coffee cup on the dashboard. Maybe the remnants of loose tobacco in the passenger seat. Maybe the bag of plaster and the paintbrushes on the seat behind him, which he's just bought in a hardware store on Folkunga Street. Or the tools and the wallpaper table lying in the back that he took out of the fucking storage unit she'd rented. 4 years stacked next to his clothes and his bed, which had once been one half of their bed. That's what that smell is. A cellar. Storage. Time. The sun beats down onto the car window, onto a film of dried flies and dust. The kind of mysterious heat that comes out of nowhere. He rolls down the window to cool off and lets in even more heat. The memory of a phone call buzzing through his head. It's me. I know. How's my boy? Everything okay? Everything good? 3 hours from Stockholm. A small town surrounded by factories and a spruce forest. He's been slowly circling it since early this afternoon, on his way to a neighborhood with a consume supermarket, a hot dog kiosk, and a small gravel football pitch. And to an apartment building at the center, 3 floors of red brick that he's never been to before. Everything's fine. What are you up to? Not much. We're about to eat. Mama's cooking. As he left the city behind, the roads got smaller and slower, cutting through a part of Sweden he hadn't seen for a long time. He'd stopped at a petrol station on the outskirts of town, rolled a cigarette, closed the door to the phone box, and dialed a number he had memorized. She'd answered the call, fallen silent at the sound of his voice, and handed the phone to their eldest son. And your brothers, Leo, how are they? They're the same, as always. And everyone's at home? Everyone's here. He drove the last few kilometers slowly, past a church and an old school, and the main square where sunbathers soaked up rays that would soon turn to clouds and thunder. It was that kind of heat. Can you give Felix the phone? You know he doesn't want to talk to you. He was parked outside the flat, staring at the door, feeling it staring back. Well, Vincent then. He's playing. Lego? No, he's toy soldiers. Tell me what he's doing. He's reading. Papa, soldiers were a long time ago. The window at the top on the right-hand side, he thinks. That must be the flat. His eldest son has described it so many times it feels that he knows what it looks like. The kitchen directly to the left as you enter, the brown, round table with 4 chairs. Not 5. Living room straight ahead, a door of milky glass you can't see through. To the right is her bedroom, and the other half of the bed, which she's kept. Then the children's rooms, just like when they all lived together. And you? I have... What are you up to, Papa? I'm on my way home. A 4-bedroom flat is its own world of sound. When Mama turns the tap on in the kitchen sink, its dull rumbling collides with the clang of the cutlery tray and the brittle rattling of the crockery cabinet. Together they do their best to overpower the television in the living room, the high-pitched screech of the cartoons Felix is watching from the corner of the sofa, music coming from Leo's 2 giant speakers, and whatever's seeping out of the Walkman headphones that sit askew on Vincent's head. A deep voice narrating a story, sounds that when pushed and squeezed together, intertwine and then meld. The spaghetti is ready, and the meat sauce is hot. Mama lifts up the headphones and whispers, "Dinner time." and Vincent runs through the hallway shouting, "Food!" Another lap. "Food! Food!" The TV is turned off. The music stops. It's almost silent as they all head towards the kitchen table. And then another sound enters, interrupts. The doorbell. Vincent is already on his way back out to the hall. "I'll get it!" Felix passes the TV and hurries towards the front door. "I'll get it!" They race, and Vincent, who's closest, gets there first and reaches for the doorknob, but he isn't able to turn it. Felix is a step behind and lifts Vincent's hand away, leans forward, peering through the peephole. Leo sees Vincent reaching for the knob again and not being able to pull it down, while Felix recoils, turns around with fear on his face that hasn't been there for a long time. "What is it?" Felix nods at the door. "There." "There? What?" The bell rings again, a long sound, and Leo continues towards the front door. Vincent jumps up to unlock it, and Felix refuses to let go of the handle. "Felix, Vincent, move. I'll get it." Later, she won't even remember if she actually turned round, if she even had time to wonder why the boys were standing still. What she will remember, the only thing, is that his curly hair was longer, and his breath had stopped smelling of red wine. And that he punched her, but not like he used to. Because if he hit her too hard, she'd fall down, and he wanted her to look him in the eye as he destroyed her for ignoring him, for passing the phone to his eldest son. She needed to look him in the eye when they touched for the first time in 4 years. The first punch is right fist against left cheek, and his hand then continues towards her neck, grabs it and twists it so they can look at each other. The second and the third and the fourth punches are just the opposite. Left knuckle on right cheek. "Look at me!" Quick, powerful punches, and she puts her arms over her head to shield herself, spiked elbows forming a helmet, all skin and bone. One hand on her neck and the other in her hair. He forces her to stand up even though she's getting heavier, wants to stay down, lie down, protect herself. He holds her head down while he knees her. "Feel me!" Knees her again. "Feel me!" Knees her once more. "Feel me!" Because Leo doesn't understand the terrible silence. That's why it takes so long for Leo to react. Papa's knuckles hit Mama's face like a whip, but he takes his time and does it silently. You used to be able to hear it when Papa threw a punch. He is both Papa and someone else, and because Mama doesn't scream, and Vincent's hiding behind his brother's back, and Felix is still standing by the front door. They're not yet the same height. If they had been, Leo wouldn't have had to jump onto his back. That's what he does when Papa starts using his knees, when Leo realizes that this time Papa won't stop until she's dead. He hangs onto his back and clenches his arms around his father's neck until Papa finally grabs hold and rips him off. But at that point, at least Papa has to let go of her head. Leo slips, falls to the floor, and his mother, confused, takes a couple of steps away, her arms protecting her heavily bleeding face, mostly from a gash on her cheekbone from Papa's knuckles. Papa follows her, grabs her again the same way as before. He wants her to look at him while he's punching her. One more punch, a fist to her nose and mouth. But that's the only one he gets in before Leo stands up and squeezes himself between them and raises his hands. "No, Papa." He's standing in a void, between a mother who is bleeding and a father who wants to hit her again, but can't, because there's another face in the way. And Leo grabs hold of him. Not his neck, Papa's too tall for that, nor his arms, Leo can't quite catch them, but his waist and a bit of his chest. "No, Papa." He tries to plant his feet on the kitchen floor. His socks slide, and he has to brace himself against the table legs, doing his best to hug his Papa away. He can't quite do it, but at least Papa lets go of her hair. Mama runs out of the kitchen and into the hallway to the front door, which is standing wide open. She slips on the polished stone floor of the stairwell, and her blood pours out, and she whimpers and moans on every...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?